The air smelled like hot dogs in summer. It was the 4th of July. Red, white, and blue streamers hung from the porch of the old lake house. My cousins, Leo and Mia, were there with me. Our parents sat in lawn chairs, talking and laughing. The sun began to set over the dark water of Blackwood Lake. It painted the sky in shades of orange and purple. We were excited. The fireworks were about to begin. We couldn't wait for the big booms and bright colors that would light up the night. This was our favorite night of the whole year, a tradition we cherished. Leo grabbed a box of sparklers. We ran down to the edge of the lawn, near the tall reeds by the water. One by one, our parents lit them for us. The sparklers hissed to life. They sputtered with brilliant golden light. We waved them in the air, writing our names in glowing trails against the growing darkness. The light danced and flickered, making long, strange shadows leap around us. It was beautiful and a little bit magical, the way the light fought back the night for just a few moments before fading away into nothing. That's when I saw it. Beyond the bright, fizzing light of my sparkler, I saw a shadow. It was different from the others. It was tall and thin. It stood near the old oak tree at the very edge of the property. It wasn't moving like our shadows did. It was perfectly still. I stopped waving my sparkler and squinted into the gloom. The figure was just a silhouette, a patch of deeper black against the twilight. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, but a cold feeling started to creep up my spine, a feeling that didn't belong on a warm summer night. I pointed. "What's that?" I asked Leo. He lowered his sparkler and looked where I was pointing. "What's what?" he said. "I don't see anything." Mia looked too, her face lit by the golden glow. "It's just the tree," she said, laughing. "You're seeing things." I looked again. The shadow was gone. The space by the old oak tree was empty. But I knew what I had seen. It wasn't just a tree. It was shaped like a person. A very tall, very thin person, watching us from the edge of the darkness. My sparkler fizzled out, leaving me in the sudden dark. The first firework finally shot into the sky. It went up with a loud whoosh. Then it exploded with a deafening boom. Bright red stars rained down over the lake. We all cheered. Our parents shouted from the lawn. Leo, Mia, and I ran down to the end of the long wooden dock. We wanted to get the clearest view of the fireworks. The dock stretched far out over the black water. It was the best place to see the reflections of the fireworks. Each burst of color would make a twin of itself on the lake's smooth surface, doubling the magic of the show. We sat down at the very end of the dock. Our legs dangled over the edge, just inches above the dark, still water. Another firework went up, this one a brilliant blue. As the light washed over us, I felt something strange. A patch of air right next to me turned cold. It was a sudden, icy chill, like an open freezer door. I shivered and pulled my knees to my chest. "Did you guys feel that?" I asked. The warm summer air was gone, replaced by a pocket of unnatural cold that seemed to cling to that one spot on the dock right beside me. Leo shook his head. "Feel what?" "It's warm out here." Mia was too busy watching a green firework spiral into the sky to answer. But the cold was real. I could feel it on my arm. It was a perfect circle of cold, about the size of a person. I reached my hand out into the spot. It was like dipping my fingers into ice water. Goosebumps erupted all over my skin. The air a foot away was warm and humid, but this one spot was freezing. It didn't make any sense. It felt wrong, like something was there that we couldn't see. A huge firework, a golden weeping willow, lit up the entire lake. That bright, flickering light, I looked down at the wooden planks of the dock. For just a second, I saw something. In the cold spot next to me, there was a wet footprint. It was long and narrow, and it was not from one of us. It was a bare foot, and it was dripping water onto the dry wood. Then another firework exploded, and the dock was plunged back into darkness. When the next one burst, a shower of white glittered. The footprint was gone. The wood was completely dry. The fireworks kept coming. Big ones. Loud ones. They filled the sky with color and smoke. The booms echoed across the lake, making the water ripple. I tried to forget the cold spot and the footprint, but I couldn't. I kept looking at the spot next to me, expecting something to appear. My heart was thumping in my chest, a different kind of boom than the ones in the sky. I felt a growing sense of dread, a feeling that we were not alone on the dock. The celebration around me felt distant, muffled by the fear that was building inside my head. Then, between the explosions, I heard another sound. It was quiet. It came from the water right below us. It was a voice. "Help me find my flag," it whispered. The voice was thin and raspy, like dry leaves skittering across pavement. It was so faint, I thought I had imagined it. I looked at Leo and Mia. Their faces were turned up to the sky, mesmerized by a firework that looked like a giant purple flower. They were completely lost in the show. I held my breath and listened, straining my ears over the crackle and pop of the fireworks. "My red, white, and blue flag," the voice whispered again. This time it was clearer. It was coming from directly beneath my feet. I scrambled backward on the dock, away from the edge. "Did you hear that?" I said, my voice shaking. Leo finally looked at me. "Hear what? The fireworks? They're awesome." He was annoyed that I was interrupting the show. But I knew it wasn't a firework. It was a voice. A sad, lonely voice. It sounded like someone was lost and scared, trapped in the deep, dark water under the dock. I leaned over the edge, my heart pounding. I peered into the black water. The surface was like a dark mirror, reflecting the explosions in the sky. I couldn't see anything below. "My flag," the voice gurgled, closer this time. It sounded like it was right there, its words bubbling up from the depths. I felt a cold, wet hand brush against my ankle. I screamed and scrambled away, crab walking backwards so fast I almost fell off the side of the dock. The hand was gone as quickly as it had come, leaving behind a trail of icy cold on my skin. Leo and Mia finally saw the terror on my face. "What is it? What's wrong?" Mia asked, her eyes wide. "Something touched me," I yelled. "Something in the water." They both stared at the dark lake, their fun finally replaced by fear. The grand finale was starting. Dozens of fireworks launched at once, filling the night with a continuous roar of thunder and a blinding storm of light. The entire lake, the shore, and the dock were lit up as bright as day. Everything was flashing white and red and gold. It was a chaotic, beautiful, terrifying scene. In that brilliant strobing light, we all saw it. A figure was pulling itself out of the water and onto the end of the dock. It was tall and thin, dripping with black water and tangled weeds. Its clothes were old and tattered. It moved slowly, deliberately, its long limbs unfolding as it rose. Its skin was pale white, almost glowing in the flashing light of the fireworks. And then all of a sudden, it changed. It didn't have a face, just a big hole with teeth all around. And then it changed again, but this time, it was smooth and blank, with no eyes, no mouth. And again, its looks altered, with a gruesome face, with eyes all over. Its body. This terrifying thing turned its head toward us, under the fireworks. We were frozen, unable to scream, unable to run. It raised a long, bony arm and pointed a finger, not at us, but at the sky. It pointed at the biggest firework, a glorious, shimmering ball of silver light that hung in the air for a moment. As it pointed, a mouth tore open on its smooth face. There was a black, gaping hole, and from it came a terrible, silent scream that we felt more than we heard. It was a scream of pure agony and loss, echoing in our minds. Then, as the last firework faded, plunging the dock back into total darkness, the figure was gone. We didn't see it leave. We didn't hear a splash. It just vanished. We scrambled off the dock and ran to our parents, screaming about the man with no face. They told us it was just our imaginations, a trick of the smoke and the flashing lights. But we knew what we saw. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I can still see it. The faceless man, pointing at the sky. And I wonder, will he be back next 4th of July? Thanks for watching Chronicles of Mysterious Tales Ghost Stories. If you enjoyed this chilling adventure, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Your support means a lot, and it helps me bring you even more mysterious stories. Until next time, stay curious, and maybe keep an eye on the water when the fireworks begin. I appreciate you.